Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Lights Camera Discussion podcast. As always, my name is Mass903, and I'm joined by my co-hosts. When asked about their thoughts on Patrick Stewart's character in Green Room, one thought he was the good guy, one thought he was the bad guy. I'll let you decide who was who. Todd and Collie. Guys, how are we doing?
I think that's absolutely horrendous. That's your worst intro yet.
Thank you. That's what I reach for in my worst intro yet. That's the bar each time. So. Todd, we are on your episode today, so tell us about who we are talking about today.
So today we are going to be talking about Jeremy Saulnier. He is an American director, writer and cinematographer. After graduating NYU, Saulnier has gone on to make 5 feature films that we'll discuss today, all of which with the involvement of his childhood friend Macon Blair. Rumour has it that A24 have won the rights to Saulnier's next film, an untitled Halloween project, which you can all be very excited about.
Ooh,
called October, I think, from when I looked it up.
No,
it's just titled October at the moment.
Excellent, good stuff. I'm excited for that. And would say as well, obviously, his wife has seen our episode tweet. So if you're watching, Jeremy and Sky, hello, lovely to see you. Now, first film, Todd, what are we talking about?
So the first film is Murder Party. A man finds an invite to a murder party on Halloween. He gets more than he bargained for when he finds the party is more literal than he expected.
Good stuff. Well, first thoughts. Let's go to yourself, Collie.
So it's one of those ones like, you're going in there after a little bit of like reading the blurb and you know it's his first film, self-funded, etc. You're expecting like, a student film, and I definitely say that's what's delivered. Some of the quotes that we'll maybe cover in a wee bit we can talk about, but it's not good. Like in my opinion, I wouldn't say it's good, but you can kind of see sprinklings throughout it, the stuff that gets improved in his later work. But, rating this and reviewing this just on its own, I ended up being quite bored, and it's only 80 minutes. One of the reviews I read was, this film is short at only 80 minutes, and even then feels like it could have shaved 15 to 20 minutes off. I just felt it was a bit slow in getting going, but I would say the last 30 minutes, for being low budget, I was kind of entertained at that.
Very diplomatic. I love it. Todd?
Yeah, so I didn't know, when I chose Jeremy Saulnier, I didn't know that this film existed. And it was obviously only through the research that I did. Like Collie said, you can tell it's a debut and low budget, and there's some elements of it that I really, really like and really wanted to champion. I just felt like, I get that they were trying to be like, oh, art students are up their own arse type thing, but then it became too insufferable. Like the way they were talking, like when it's good, when it's gory and it's silly and it's over the top, it's actually like entertaining. But like you say, that sort of trudging through their beliefs and how far up their own arse they are, it became a lot. Mm-hmm. For like you say, for 80 minutes.
Yeah. Totally agree. It, when it did the good things, it did it pretty well. Like, it was campy and fun at some parts, but those parts were far too sporadic throughout the film. For me, a lot of it was them talking in a pretentious way that just lost me. There was also a few moments, I know in horror you've got to suspend your disbelief with choices that characters make, but some of the choices were just completely idiotic and totally took me out of it, really, to be perfectly honest. But hey, at least he tried. Fair play to him for trying. I mean, it was obviously a kind of the cast of the film. It was quite an intimate film, I suppose. There was a few people in there, but obviously Chris Sharp is the sort of like the main guy, not even the main guy, I suppose. He was kind of the catalyst for the victim for this murder party. But I mean, in terms of the cast, was there anyone that stood out for yourselves at all? What about you, Todd? I'll let you start.
I love Macon Blair anyway. Every time he pops up, I feel like the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing thing. Just I love seeing him in stuff, and I think he fell into that sort of campy even from the start, when Christopher walks in and he hasn't got his mask on, like people are there in like yes makeup, but like you can see their face, and he panics, looks, and like drags it down in like a cartoony sort of way. I think right the way through, when he's pouring the vinegar on him that he thinks is acid. I thought that was amazing. I loved Macon Blair in this. Again, it just, if everybody had been that over the top, and I think it might have worked a little bit better. Like some of the, like when we talk about the performances, especially. Yeah, I don't know if any of you have any feelings on Macon Blair.
I mean, for me, Macon Blair, he's obviously going to be quite a big part of this episode kind of going forward. And I think out of all of them, he was the one that you can kind of see maybe has a bit more to him than the others, to be perfectly honest. A little bit of, not charisma as such, but you kind of are sort of maybe drawn to him a little bit more, especially after the moment where his face fuses into his mask and stuff as well. Like that was, I thought that was really well done, and the way he played that as well, as being kind of almost turning into this sort of metaphorical werewolf as well, with his little chainsaw. Yeah, I thought he was probably the strongest part of the cast for me. Collie?
Yeah, you could make him Blair. As soon as I seen him, I was like, I recognize him from somewhere, and immediately recognize him as Lloyd from Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's lawyer throughout that. So I was like, yep, already like this guy. And you can tell there's something about him. But I thought the surrounding cast of the actual, like, you know, the guys behind the murder party, so to speak, I thought they were all right. I didn't really like, you know, the benefactor and his drug dealer. I thought they were pretty amateurish, but again, like it's an amateur production almost, you know, so you can't really take it too much away. I thought the brief introduction to Bo Sia is Cicero, the guy who was like running the art project. I thought he was quite good. And we'll get round to obviously our favorite scene and stuff like that. But I quite enjoyed that whole, you know, diversion from just being in that basement for them, or that kind of whatever warehouse, whatever they were hosting the party. The move into the other location I thought was quite good. But yeah, Macon Blair, you can definitely tell there's something about him, and we will cover him a lot in this episode, obviously.
Absolutely. What about obviously Chris as the sort of like the victim? Todd, what were your thoughts on his performance?
The thing is, he didn't get like this is an ensemble cast where like it's based around the murder party as such. When you say like, oh, the protagonist, well, he's not. He's more the victim. I thought he was he was fine. I think there was a lot of like a bit of sad sack about him.
Yeah.
You know, like
not moving his cat.
Yeah, losing the fight against the cat at the beginning, and then his win is that his cat moves, and he's like, that's a bit like, yeah. He was. I don't think he was a standout as such, you know. And sorry, just when Collie was on about the guy who played Alexander, it felt like he'd seen 101 gangster type films, and then tried to play an art student playing a gangster, and it didn't work. Like although there is one moment when we talk about obviously favorite quotes and stuff like that, there is one moment that I don't know if it took me out of it and made me laugh, but like some of his delivery was interesting to say the least. But yeah, Chris was fine. Like, I think that's why I struggle to talk about him, because there was so little to do. I know I've said, oh, Macon Blair's really good when he's feeding into the sort of cartoonish and over the top and campy, but I think maybe he went the other way, you know, when they're chasing him in that first instance round, that like he gets out the chair and he's like running like towards the bathroom like he's some sort of, and then when he chucks he has like a load of stuff, doesn't he, like a hammer and things, and he throws it out the door. And it's just like, I don't know what we're watching here. Like, are we going full like Hundreds of Beavers style, like slapstick, or yeah, it was a little bit, maybe not. Yeah. What about you two? Anything in terms of?
Yeah, I agree. I think you're absolutely spot on with the cartoony side of things. Went like the other way of what Macon Blair was. It was when he was getting chased and like he would just hide in a little alcove, like literally just lying down, like stuff like that just pissed me off. Like it what when I'm talking about choices that characters make, like, why are you doing that? Why are you stopping and lying down in your cardboard Lancelot sort of thing? That just really annoyed me, and it felt like for half the film he was tied to a chair, and half the film he was just running and then stopping and then running and then stopping, and yeah, just the choices of that just pissed me off. I did enjoy the or not enjoy, but relative to the film, the part at the end when he was letting out his anger on it was Bill that was chasing him, right? Was that
the baseball Fury?
yeah, yeah.
From Warriors. Yeah,
Like when he obviously face to face with him and the chainsaw, I enjoyed his cathartic release of the terror and stuff that he'd had, and then of course the cat thing at the end. I quite enjoyed that part. Like it was a good kind of like his whole character arc was just that he managed to be the boss in his own house with his cat. I did enjoy that sort of part, but there was too much of it that annoyed me for it to go the other way. So yeah, Collie.
Yeah, it was just kind of there as, you know, a reason to get to this party and stuff like that. I thought it was fine, but I do wonder. So I don't know how much you know about like Christopher Nolan's first film, Following, but they had to do a lot of that in one take because they had like so little budget and like so little film and stuff. So some of this, I do wonder how many takes they were able to do. So they can't really be like, oh, let's try it this way, let's try it that way. So when you're talking about the running and the actual like acting of a lot of it, you're like, I don't know if they had to just be like, this has to do.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at his later films, even when it's not like the likes of Patrick Stewart, etc., of these high caliber actors, like all of the cast in a lot of the later films we're going to talk about, like they all still put in good performances. So I think Sonia can get that out of actors. I just feel like, one, it was his first film, and secondly, like how much time and film time did they have to capture multiple takes and stuff. So the kind of amateur side of things, or like that maybe tonally doesn't fit the rest of the film, those takes, I can kind of not forgive them. Like I don't think to be patronizing, I don't want to be like, oh well, I'll let them off with like a million and things and it's like a perfect film, because it's not. But I was trying to bear that in mind a lot, that, you know, it is self-funded, it is, you know, people that haven't acted before or people early in their acting career and stuff. So yeah, Chris was fine, like I say, to kind of move through the story, but when he gets back to his place, you're kind of sit there being like, what was the point of this film really? Because if the point is pointing, you know, like pointing and laughing at like art students and how like up their own bum they are, I kind of feel like the film at times is pointing at itself, but then it's like, oh, is that satire? Is that a parody? Or is that like they just don't know that they're actually doing what they're making fun of? I don't really know. I didn't really know where to sit on that, because if it is a satire and a parody of all that stuff, and like they know that they're pointing at themselves, I kind of missed that. I kind of felt like it was more hypocritical, the film overall, in terms of you're laughing at these people being like, you know, one of the quotes, I won't say it right now because it's my favorite quote, but like, you know, all these quotes about how art's more important and all that stuff. Like, I feel the film falls a little bit back on itself in regards to that.
It's a very good point. Very good point. Any other characters or anything you want to touch on, Todd?
Just in terms of like the characters, the two that had the least to do in terms of the murder party were two of my favourites. And I said this before we started recording, I'm going to say it now. Not just because she's like the tweet. Sky, when she's eating the bread and like, you know, she's getting dizzy and stuff, I thought that was really good. And she was in the murder party bit. She was only in it for about 3 minutes. And I love Bill, the baseball Fury guy, sat playing his PSP. He's got so little to do, and when he does do something, it's decent. Yeah, they were my two where I was like a little bit sort of taken by them, let's say, out of them all. But Make and Bless me stand out.
Bill pissed me off. Like he just went from 0 to 100 out of nowhere, and the fact that he was sitting playing his PSP, it just felt so performative, and he annoyed me. Yeah, I liked his outfit. I thought the Warriors thing is cool, but he just pissed me off.
Sorry, there's so much vitriol in that.
Honestly, yeah, it just annoyed me. Yeah, I mean, we touched kind of on was it Alexander was the main sort of benefactor boy. He annoyed me as well. He just felt pretentious, and when they did the truth serum scene, like just the way he was like kind of out of it and like not even slurring his words, he was just kind of nonchalantly that pissed me off as well. Like,
see one comment on that truth serum. Like they used actual hypodermic needles and stuff like that, with like saline solution to do that in the film, and I was like, did you really need to actually have to do that? You know, like I was just like, that's a bit far for what you're doing. Just cut the camera away.
Yeah.
So that's a bit hardcore, but each of their own.
Mental. Collie, any others?
Yeah, not particularly. Yeah. I think like Macon stood out, and then I mean, I wouldn't say I was pissed off by Bill. I like the fact that he was the guy from the Warriors. I thought that was cool. And I think at one point, does he say, "Is it Can You Dig It?" Or is that a quote? It's from Warriors. I thought that was because that can go like one of two ways. It can be like, it's too on the nose, or oh yeah, that's that bit. So I thought that was actually okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll move on to like the our favorite part. So favorite scene. Well, Todd, what was yours?
It's the chainsaw. It's Chris and Bill with the chainsaw. I thought that was it just culminated into it. I love the practical stuff anyway, and I know we're not talking about. I know we're talking favorite scenes, but like in terms of like you say, making Blair's face fusing with that mask and stuff. Like even Sky falling and hitting her head, and it that had me. Do you know what I mean? These sort of like practical moments that looked and like I say on a budget as well. So I love that. It was very Evil Dead in terms of like just the blood everywhere, and yeah, loved it.
Yeah, for me it was the mask fusing onto his face. I thought it was really, really, really well done. And it was quite disgusting as well, actually, to be fair. Getting for an amateur production as well. Collie?
We'll go 3 for 3 because that was my first choice. But I did also like the bit when he was hiding in that room with all the art students who are doing all their performative stuff, and then it just he comes in and just starts killing everybody. I'll say that as a second MVP for me. But yeah, I thought like the bit that I enjoyed the most, and I thought it was really well done, was the mask fusing and that kind of chainsaw subsequent scene. I did laugh at the bit when they were going up the conveyor belt. I thought that was quite funny. How he just followed him up and stuff. I thought that was quite silly. I thought that was quite slapstick, and that's when I was kind of bordering on maybe this is more of a 100 Beavers kind of slapstick kind of thing. But I did laugh at that as well.
Mm-hmm. MVP, Todd?
Macon Blair. For me.
Collie?
Yeah, same.
I went a bit different. I went for Paul Goldblatt, special effects guy. I thought special effects were absolutely spot on. So,
and he played Paul in the film as well, according to the cast list.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I didn't know. But yeah, I thought that I looked at like kind of special effects name, I thought it was him. So, yeah, I thought that was a standout for me.
Good show.
And favorite quote, Todd.
Despite hating Alexander, I rewound when he goes, "Lexi's pussy screamed at me," and then he goes like, "Ah." And it was the noise that he made. I can't replicate it. It was phenomenal.
I don't think your mic can handle it.
Yeah, I know.
As it gone as it is, it's completely gone.
When you screamed there, the mic was like, "Nope, no thanks."
Absolutely not. Let's save everybody's ears.
Good.
The scream that comes, the scream that comes after it was outstanding.
Collie?
I'll say one of mine, and then I'll say the alternative one if you've not got it. But Paul puts the bitch in barbiturate. I thought was quite funny. Just because it's so silly, I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Mine was when he's going down the stairs and he says, "I need a phone," and then round the corner is a guy dressed as a phone. Like that made me laugh. That was good. What was your other one? I
remember who said it, but my other one was like cause of death, art.
My other one, just because of like titles said in the film type thing, was the I didn't send out for a second. Like really cool, like good. Just getting close to the title. Can I just say though, in terms of quotes, I'm so happy. Let's just clear this up now that there is not a mention in I don't think in the next 4 films of the word dildo. At no point has Saulnier ever has written into his script the word dildo. I think he's used his dildo quarter in this fucking film.
That pissed
Jeremy,
me off.
Each director gets one for their career, and he's just checked it all off in this one. Fair.
in one film, used it too many times.
And say that at the end of every review of films subsequently. Where would the word dildo
have what would dildo do? Okay, ratings. Todd.
1.5 stars.
Okay, Collie.
1.5, but it's one of those ones after talking about it, I was like maybe a bit harsh, but yeah, 1.5 for me as well.
Yeah, 1.5 for me as well.
Not all 1.5 star films are equal.
No,
as we say about every rating for the most part, apart from yours, Matty.
Yes, exactly.
Idiot.
Thank you. I'll take that moniker. Right, Todd, what's the next film we're talking about?
So our next film is Blue Ruin from 2013. So when his parents' murderer is released from prison, Dwight drags himself out of isolation to exact revenge on the family that turned his life upside down.
Excellent. First thoughts, Collie?
I thought it was absolutely class. Really succinct 90-minute film, didn't drag or anything like that. Kind of a bit different to your usual revenge film, I think. Like, obviously, spoilers about this film, but the fact that he like gets his quote-unquote revenge within however many minutes, 20, 25 minutes or whatever the film, first half of it anyway, first third of it anyway, I thought was really surprising. Then the whole like reveal of who actually did it and why they did it and all that interwoven stuff, I thought was really, really good. And Macon Blair was class. I thought he, like, the kind of mentioned it about Chris in the last film, but the kind of sad sack, you know, vagrant look, and then with the beard and stuff, but then when he doesn't have it, he just looks like a completely different guy, almost. Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I really, really enjoyed it. It was like pleasantly surprised, again, not in like a patronizing way, but from Murder Party to this, I think it's like a massive step up, like huge. Like, you couldn't probably, if you put them side by side and you didn't know it was the same director, you wouldn't guess it, you know?
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. I think there was it was okay, it was a kind of revenge story as such, but there was like elements in it that added to just like the sort of bog standard thing. I don't know if there was a lot of like sort of deeper meaning and stuff to it, but it was like, it was standard with exciting parts, if that kind of makes sense. It was kind of like a different sort of take on the revenge thing, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I totally agree with Macon Blair as well. We'll obviously talk about him. I thought he was great. There was some surprises as well that took me off guard. Again, we'll kind of touch on those. And some of the cinematography was beautiful as well. I thought it looked great. It was paced perfectly. I really enjoyed this film. Todd?
Yeah, so this is three of them, but this is one of the main reasons why I chose Saulnier, because I love this film, and I don't think it's seen enough in terms of, especially because when you think about Green Room and the cast and Rebel Ridge and the Netflix, you know, push behind it and stuff, like, this is sort of forgotten about a lot of the time, and I love it. Like you say, I think it's paced perfectly. I know there isn't a mass amount of dialogue, because it's a lot of like Macon Blair's character, like Dwight, on his own quite a lot, or in shady situations. But I just think the script's perfect. It gives just the right enough amount of information that you're not being spoon fed. Like you say, that everything about like the cinematography, I think the sound design on it as well, like I'll touch on closer to the end, is phenomenal as well. Yeah, love this film.
Mm-hmm. Let's get on to him then. Macon Blair as Dwight. College, you want to start us off on your thoughts on him?
Well, kind of like I say, like obviously he starts as this kind of vagrant guy, and you're wondering what his motivations are, and then it's just his ability to like seek revenge on the guy who he perceives to have killed his parents. Like, it's so sloppy, but you were never expecting it to be like, you know, military operation, judging by the guy, because you don't know his background or anything like that. But just that, and then the leaving of the keys and stuff like that. Like, it shows how like much, not of a flawed character he was, but just out of his depth, I think is a good term. And that's why he, you know, eventually meets his mate Dean and relies on him for a little bit. But you can tell that it's one of those ones when I ask you those moral kind of questions of, is he right to be doing this? Is he not right to be doing it? His interactions with his sister are really good. But the highlight for me, relationship wise, was with Ben, that he goes to meet his old buddy, and just how he like skirts around the issue of what he's wanting to do or what he's done, etc. But the guy Ben, obviously, likes him enough, cares about him enough, knows him enough to then allow him to come under his wing, so to speak, and he quickly, quote unquote, trains him and stuff. Yeah, I thought it was a really, really strong performance. Carried the film, obviously, but because he had to, but I think he does it so well. And if there wasn't as good a performance by Macon Blair in this, then I think the film would really, really lack, because it is all centered around him,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think you're right when you say sloppy about his kind of execution and stuff like that. But I also feel like it was sloppy, but he had the right idea a lot of times as well. Like there was, we tried Home Alone the house, when he even when things try to sort out his wounds and stuff as well. Like it was done in a sloppy way, but he had the right idea of what he was trying to do and things as well. And I thought that was a really interesting point, because it was never just he's done it perfectly, so like no one gets in the house or everyone dies, or he cleans his wound and nothing happens. Like there's no sort of backlash to the fact his wound sorted, then that's him now back to full health, or even at the end he kind of talks a bit too long, and that's his sort of downfall and stuff as well. So it was like he felt human, or he felt like a real person doing what he was doing, and I really liked that part about it. It was never just he was a perfect military guy, or he's just this absolute idiot who doesn't have a clue what he's doing and is stumbling his way through kill after kill or whatever. I thought it was great, and you're right as well. When he started off as like a sort of vagrant in his car, I was like, oh, where's this gonna go? But the progression and the thing, it felt natural. So I really enjoyed his performance. Todd?
Yeah, sloppy is the word. Like, I'm with you on just loving that he was just a normal guy who's like sort of just driven. This isn't a world that he's used to. This isn't a world he's part of. When he's beating around the bush with Ben, and he's sort of trying to play it subtly. Does he just tell him outright he doesn't know? Even the way that he handles the guns and stuff, and it feeds into my favorite scene, that he is just lost, and I think he played it perfectly. I love that you say the interaction with his sister. That scene for me, the way that he's talking to her, the way that he's sort of like it's not I'm going to go out and kill this guy, and it's also not like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. He plays it perfectly down the middle of those two things, with that love for and the concern. It's always like, are you coming for me or her? He's always got that sort of motivation behind him. I thought it was brilliant. I think he does so much physically as well, in that that sad sack, the phrase again, that sort of, he's defeated from the beginning. He's obviously down on his luck. He's got nothing, but it's not like, I've got nothing to lose, I'm going to fight the world. It's just, this is something that he has to do. And like you say, I don't know. I'm with you on it. If it wasn't a stronger performance, or if it wasn't Macon Blair doing it, would it have been as good? Because that when he has the beard and you're like, oh, he's a bit of a weedon. And then when he shaves it, he still looks like he's like, what?
What about folk with beards? How dare you?
Oh, I understand. It's only because I can't grow one. In me midday. Yeah, he still looks different. That's the only way I can describe it, is when he shaved it, he still looks out of place. And again, I just think it's because he's not part of this world. He doesn't know how to sort of handle himself, because he's been out of it for so long. Yeah, he was phenomenal. He was fantastic. And again, with very little dialogue, and the dialogue that he did deliver, I won't take people's favourite quotes, but the dialogue that he did deliver was fantastic.
Shall we touch on Ben then? Because we kind of did on a little parts, kind of going through him with Dwight there. So, Collie, what were your thoughts on?
I'll let you. You can take Ben first.
Okay, I thought Ben was amazing. I thought, for me, he was almost like who Dwight wanted to be, or could have been. Like he was like that. He planned everything. He had like like tactical awareness when it came to this sort of thing, because obviously his time in the army and stuff as well. But the way that he took Dwight under his wing and kind of helped him out in this, I thought it was fantastic, and had some of the more profound kind of dialogue as well between him and Dwight, which I really enjoyed. And the fact that it's the boy from Home Alone, Buzz from Home Alone, kind of tied in with the way that Dwight was home alone in the house and stuff as well. So I thought that was, I don't know if it was intentional, but it felt like a good little nod for me. But yeah, so Devin Rattley as Ben, I thought he was phenomenal. So Collie, thoughts?
Yeah, I thought he was excellent. I think he said it exactly how I wanted to word it, in terms of that could have been Dwight, but I think because of the death of his parents and stuff, his life was derailed. Mm-hmm. To an extent, so he there was no real hint in that, I thought, or I got in the film. Maybe I missed stuff, but there was no real hint that he wanted to be in the military. But there was every chance that he could have made something of himself more than being a vagrant if his parents hadn't died in the way that they did. Just to quickly touch on Dwight in that regard, like Saulnier revealed in a Q&A that the Pontiac already has bullet holes in it because that's the actual car that his parents were murdered in and stuff. So he's. Wow. The car that he's living in the film is the car that his parents were killed in. So that's like kind of showing exactly that his life was derailed in the moment that his parents were killed in the way that it did. So I thought his kind of affinity and his affection and the fact that he went to Ben of all people kind of shows how much respect he had for the military and Ben in general. So yeah, great performance. The kind of Leo Pointing moment that you're saying, Todd, of the kind of, oh my god, that's Buzz from Home Alone, was definitely a thing there for me. But no, solid performance. Obviously in it very briefly, but really did enjoy him.
Mm-hmm. Todd?
Yeah, I think like a lot of people in the film, they just kind of like passing characters in Dwight's life, so he doesn't get a lot. He comes across to me as like, obviously they've got this really small town, and he's like the pinnacle of what you could be in that town because of his time in the army and the way that he is with his guns and stuff, and you get that impression from the way that Dwight interacts with him. Yeah, I thought he was excellent. I thought like the bits where he's like, I don't want to know, those sort of standoff moments where he's not gung-ho, he's not like, yeah, let's cook some people, do you know what I mean? Like he wants to sort of like keep himself clean. I thought that was really good. Like you say, solid performance with not a lot to do, and being the sort of, the saving grace in the last moment, I thought was really cool. That sort of those tactical 2 minutes of, this is what you have to do, this is what I've done, this is what's happening, go. I thought was really impactful as well. Yeah.
Any other cast we'll talk about, or?
I think Amy Hargreaves as Sam, as his sister, and that sort of shift from being like, what are you doing here? To you didn't bring and that panic where they worried about like the kids being left at home and stuff. I thought she again. The problem is this is Dwight's film with sort of passing characters that are just sort of like involved. But I thought she was really solid as well.
Anyone else, Colin?
No, Amy Hargreaves was probably the one I mentioned. It's about the kind of Cleland family. Like they kind of almost amalgamate into one because they're just seen as like the group of antagonists. So it's hard to differentiate a lot of them. I thought they were all good overall. But yeah, like Amy Hargreaves was probably the one that he interacted with the most. There's obviously the emotional investment being his sister and stuff. So I thought she covered what she needed to do brilliantly. And I thought she was just similar to Ben, like a well-rounded character, but you only see her for so few minutes in the 90-minute runtime.
Absolutely. Anything else as in like filmmaking wise you want to touch on, or?
The sound design for me, especially in those sort of first 10-15 minutes, like it's quiet in terms of dialogue. There's no overarching score that kind of like hit or anything like that. But I just thought like the sounds, like when he's in the bath at the beginning, it's sort of it's all you can hear is that water. Like it almost overtakes the film. There's like the funfair, the family in the background. Like it just like compounds how isolated he is. That like the world's going on around him, and I thought that was genius. I thought that was really well done. And sorry, stop us if you want to talk about sound, but in terms of like how silent it was when he took the arrow out of his leg, that was brutal. And I think again, score could have sort of taken away from that a little bit, but the silence really worked there as well.
That's one of the things that I definitely noticed was like the way that Saulnier was using the score, but also not afraid to use the silence as well. Like just let the scene play out. It doesn't have to have anything else distracting it. It's just, just let the scene breathe with what it's doing. Doesn't have to have layers upon layers of sound or anything else. I really enjoyed that part. One other thing I want to touch on as well was the reveal of the kid being like his dad's kid at the end as well. I really enjoyed that part. The fact that I think the quote even says is something like you have his eyes or something like that. Like, I really enjoyed that because he's not just went like brother or anything like that. It's been like it's a subtle kind of nod towards the fact that they are related by blood. Really, I really enjoyed that part.
I want to see the edit.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. Because it's like it's a twist upon a twist kind of thing. Because it's revealed obviously that their parents were having an affair together, and that's why the whole murder happened in the first place. His mum was there as kind of a accidental killing because it was nothing to do with her. Really, it was her husband. It was Dwight's dad. But yeah, then that kind of last reveal of there being, would they be half brothers?
Yeah, half brothers.
Yeah, half brothers. Yeah, I thought it was really, really good as well. I thought the young guy was good. I thought is that William? Is that William's the character? So David Thompson, who played him, I thought he did a solid performance.
Okay, well, let's get on to our favorite part. So, quote, Todd.
I don't know how this ends, but I'd like it to, or it can keep going. Like I think that for me hit every beat of this film in 2 sentences. I thought it was and again, Macon Blair's delivery was fantastic.
Yeah, for me it was, and again, it's another kind of nod to how the film ends. But it's when Ben's talking to Dwight. He says, "Hey man, I know it's personal. That's how you'll feel. No speeches, no talking. You point the gun, you shoot the gun." And obviously, it kind of nods towards what happened at the end. Collie?
That was my quote as well. The Ben to Dwight one. Yeah, I think it was in the quotes. And then it was in the trivia on IMDb as well. Ben tells Dwight that speeches will get him killed. In the end, Dwight's speech is what gets him shot by William and eventually dies.
Brilliant. Okay. Scene. Favorite scene. Todd.
So again, it sort of encompasses what happens in the film, but it's the standoff in the trunk of the car with Teddy and his numb legs. It just kind of like it's so real and it's so like human. Is the like, do you know what I mean? It's a bit daft the way that they're going on with each other and how he misses a shot from what is it, like 6 yards away or something. Like it's so haphazard. And but the tension's still rampant, and the way that scene ends with Ben coming to the rescue, it's fantastic filmmaking.
That was my favorite scene as well, and especially the sniper shot to the face. Like, it actually made me jump. Like, I shat myself, literally. Collie?
That was my choice as well, and I thought the whole when Dwight says his head, and then does Ben say like, "Oh, that's what bullets do," or something like that. I thought that was good, but I'll come back to what I originally started talking about the film. Like, I thought another good film, and kind of on the sloppiness, it was more the way that the way it was filmed when he was killing the original brother right at the start, when he's in the bathroom and stuff and he's hiding in the cubicle and he eventually tries it and it doesn't go very well. I thought that was filmed very well because it showed how frantic he was and how like all over the place, because like he went in with a plan of what he wanted to do. It didn't exactly go, the way that he wanted it to, so he had to kind of improvise and stuff, and I thought the kind of intimate filming of that was really good. So originally I had the whole standoff there, but I'll add in that one as it was a great kind of, I was going to say start to the film, even though it was like 25 minutes in, but it kind of it showed you like this is the kind of film you're in, and this is how we're going to move going forward. There's a couple other films that we're going to talk about that there is a significant scene that goes like boom, this is how it's going to go. So that was definitely how I felt about that scene in the bathroom with the original murder.
Mm-hmm. Agree. And then of course MVP. I'm assuming everyone's gonna have probably the same person, but Todd.
Macon Blair.
Yeah, I had Macon Blair. I was thinking it was going to be too obvious, so I put in Devin Ratray as well as a massive shout out. But Macon Blair's the boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Collie.
Yeah, 100% Macon Blair. Yeah, I think like I an honourable mention to Saulnier though, because to go from Murder Party to this, I think is a massive jump up. It was funded through Kickstarter, which I think is really cool as well. So I think like to go away from Macon Blair, because you could argue that the majority of the films today he is the MVP perhaps, but shout out to Saulnier to jump from a very amateur production which had a lot of vision, maybe didn't execute it as well, whereas I think like this hit every mark that I hope that it hit every mark that he was after, because it was a massive step up in quality of story writing, quality of acting, quality of just filming in general. So yeah, I'll say Saulnier actually instead of Blair for this.
Good shout. Okay, ratings, Todd.
I went 4.5, and I don't quite know why, but we'll stick with 4.5. We'll stick with my original rating.
What would you have gave it last like?
I know. I think talking about it now, I'm getting more excited about it and think I should have probably gone higher. But we'll stick with what I went with before, 4.5.
What's hilarious is I'm exactly the same as you, as in I rate it 4 stars, but I'm thinking like why? Like it's probably higher in my view, especially after talking about it. So 4 stars for now, but I think I might actually watch this weekend. But yeah, Colin.
There you want. 4 stars for me, and it could definitely be higher when I eventually watch it again. I'm not going to promise it's going to be this weekend because this is Sunday. So yeah,
I'm off tomorrow.
Again today.
I'm off tomorrow, so
not the weekend though, is it?
It is for me.
Long weekend,
exactly. Okay, so yeah, 4 stars, Colin. Great. Right, Todd, our next film.
So our next film is 2015's Green Room. After playing a gig for a group of neo-Nazis, punk band The Ain't Right return to the Green Room and witness a murder. In an intense battle with the fantastic, that's not the word.
So we know which one is the legs thinks Patrick Stewart's the good guy. Okay, fair enough.
Himself.
Yeah.
The battle with the fascistic owners, which I think is no word. The Ain't Rights have to fight to get out alive.
Good stuff. Okay, first thoughts, Todd.
I fucking love this film. Like, this is the reason why I chose Saulnier. Like, other films around them where I was like, that's cool, I can't wait to talk about it. But I love everything about this film. It's one of those weird ones that ended up being a bit of a comfort watch in terms of, like, I can stick it. I know.
You're so weird. So strange.
Thanks. I just like I can just put it on, and it's one of those that I know and just enjoy. I enjoy the performances. I think the practical side of it, the music, a surprise. It's not even a cameo. A surprise sort of appearance from an actor. Just absolutely, yeah. All of it just blows me away every single time.
Why are you keeping us in mystery?
I know.
Actor.
Because I want to be like, and who are we talking about? Patrick Stewart. There we go. Loved seeing Patrick Stewart.
Stewart's in this film. What the hell? I must have looked at the wrong one.
I didn't spoil it in intro. What the hell?
Great. Yeah. Yeah, we've already talked about it. Yeah, fantastic. I am a fan.
Good stuff. Yeah, this is the first Saulnier film I've seen, and I've seen it like a whole while ago. And yeah, it's a really good film. It's like kind of a tight film. Just over an hour and a half. I'm a big fan of like punk music and stuff as well. Not obviously neo-Nazi punk music, but like especially the main band that we're talking about here. And I love that sort of that side of things. And yeah, it's a tight film that's in that does some really cool things. With a really interesting cast as well. So I really enjoyed it and enjoyed watching it again. Collie?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. I'd seen it before, watched it 3 times. in prep for discussion on this, and I got more and more enjoyment out of each time. Like I just thought I was like, not really, but like seeing little things that I maybe didn't see the first time round, or just like, no, actually that is a really, really good performance. Whereas before I was like, oh, maybe that's like a solid performance, you know? So it just went up in my estimations and thoughts every time. I thought it was, again, a big jump from Blue Ruin to this. Not significant as it was between Murder Party and this, but just to kind of finish my thoughts on a little bit of trivia that I got was Saulnier was terrified after the success of Blue Ruin and thought that if he didn't fast track another movie before he was discovered, in quotes, discovered to be a fraud, that it would never ever happen. Instead of saying yes to one of many films offered by Hollywood, he immediately moved forward with a more indie-minded genre feature inspired by his own youthful interests. So I thought it was a really bold choice for him to, you know, pump the brakes on, you know, these Hollywood investments, whether that's Netflix, which we'll obviously cover in the next couple of films, or, you know, out and out like Hollywood studios. I thought the fact that he diverted it and went, no, this is what I want to make, this is what I feel like I need to make, speaks volumes, I think, in terms of the quality of the film. The cast is really, really good top to bottom. The one location for the most part filming excellent as well. Just again another step up of, you know, this guy knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, let's talk about the cast, because it is such a varied sort of cast. So I'll just run through some names and we can kind of talk about who we want to talk about. So you got Anton Yelchin, you got Imogen Poots, you got Alia Shawkat, Patrick Stewart, Joe Cole, Callum Turner, Mark Webber, Macon Blair, of course. It's just such a varied, interesting cast. Was there anyone that stood out for yourself, Todd?
I think Anton Yelchin's the first one to kind of go to. He's the heart of the film, I suppose. I love how vulnerable he is. Like, he's playing this sort of, you know, he's in this punk band who are heavy, you know, they proper going for it, and he doesn't embody that in himself, and I love that about him. The sort of the distrust that he has for Amber for the beginning of it, and as that sort of builds, I thought that was excellent. Yeah, I just love the relationships that you know, with each other, I suppose would be the phrase, like, in terms of they're a tight group and there's real dynamics between them. And I think, like I said, Anton Yelchin's the heart of it. Obviously, he has a bit of a bad do through the film. He's one that, you know, survives and gets some of the worst of it. But yeah, I thought he was fantastic, and this was my in Star Trek. Maybe it was, you know, because he was in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, wasn't he? But this was my proper introduction where you go, okay, actually, Anton Yelchin's an actor. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got it about him. I thought he was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Like, it's so weird as well seeing him and Imogen Poots in this one, but they're also in Fright Night as well, the remake of Fright Night, as like a duo. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think with what happens to him, he does really well with what he's got. In fact, the poster that I used on Letterboxd is like the hand, but it's like cut up in like Black Flag. You know, like how they've got the boxes. Like, I think that's genius. Yeah, I thought he was great though. Like, the emotion he showed, even when they're planning on ways to kind of get out, and, you know, he kind of goes all kind of mental, like he paints his face and everything, and tries to put them off and stuff. I thought he played all that really well. But yeah, the more emotional moments as well, I thought he was fantastic, and he felt like you said about the band, they felt like a real band, but they also felt like kind of like posers in like that scene as well, which is which I thought was a really good touch. But yeah, I thought Yelchin was fantastic, and gone too soon. Collie?
Yeah, I think like your end note there is true. That I think this was another film of him like being the lead in it, and he could have went on to a lot more brilliant things. So it's very sad in that respect to watch stuff like this with him being so good. But, you know, just excellent. Carries the film almost. It's not so much like he's not as isolated, obviously, as Dwight is in Blue Ruin, but it is like him as the center point, and it's all stuff happening around him. I thought his interactions through the door, you know, the kind of with Patrick Stewart, I thought that was really, really good. All the way to the, you know, back and forth into the room, out of the room, into the room, out of the room. I thought his kind of, it's weird as stuff escalated, and got like worse and worse and worse for them throughout the film. I thought, him playing the character, he became more calm and more calm. Almost, he just kind of settled into the situation of, well, I'm not going to get out here alive, so I might as well make a go for it, kind of thing. I thought that was interesting. He became. It was almost boy to man, almost, because he's like a youngish guy in this, maybe early 20s or whatever. But he like grew to be a lot more mature, and I think a lot of that was through the performance of Yelchin, as well as the writing. But no, I thought he was great. And one of those ones that when you hear that he's the lead in the film, he doesn't look like a leading man. Perhaps he doesn't have that kind of physicality about him. He looks quite young. But I think like he was really, really convincing in this, and who his character was and who his character became in that, however many hours the film is based over. But yeah, and again, just to talk about just the fact that it's an hour and a half, and to get that development of a character in that time, I think it's really impressive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, we'll go to Patrick Stewart then as the antagonist. Sir Patrick Stewart, or for Todd, the protagonist. What are your thoughts, Todd, on his performance?
I loved
Antagonist. Let's not get this mixed up with Todd and me now, okay?
So in terms of like the introduction, I thought it was genius that you've got this man who has such an iconic and recognizable voice, and that you don't see him for his first maybe 10, 15 lines of dialogue. I know that isn't like performance wise, but it still comes from how much gravitas he has in that voice. Like, it just works so well. I think it's one of the most clever casting choices, because I don't know if Patrick Stewart's played many more villainous sort of roles, but he nails it. He's so calm. I think that's the thing that is the winner for me with Patrick Stewart here, is how calm he is, and sort of how menacing that becomes. I don't think he raises his voice once throughout the film in terms of like screaming and shouting, even when things are going royally tits up for the Nazis. Like, at no point does it seem like he's flustered, or even when the police come and he's getting those two young lads to stab each other, it's that master manipulator that he gets so well. Unexpected, so unexpected, but just brilliant.
Mm-hmm. It's a total out of character performance from him, but it's also kind of in character as well. Like, he's that smooth kind of suave guy, but it's just in a completely different context in this film. Yeah, you're right. His kind of aura throughout the whole thing is just it allows him to be able to, like, for you to understand the pull that he has on these like young kids that are maybe potentially taking down the wrong path and stuff. I just think his performance is so interesting, it's so electric without it being over the top, without it being like energetic. You can't take your eyes off him. He's absolutely phenomenal. Collie?
Sorry, just
oh.
So I was just going to say about the free drinks and stuff. Like, that sort of encompasses who he is when he's on the stage, and like he's like, "Look, we're closing it, but we're back on tomorrow with free drinks." He's so like he draws people so easily, and I think that's a massive part of it. Sorry, Collie, go on.
I like how Massey's trying to get the kids, into the podcast by being like aura and stuff like that. You'll be dropping Riz
6, 7.
all sorts. But no, excellent casting choice, like you say, Todd. Just one of the most surprising ones. If you went into this film not knowing that he was in it, and then you seen him appear, and I recognize that voice, and then it turns out that it's him, you'd be a bit taken aback. I mean, I'm pretty sure, because I seen this years and years ago. I don't think I seen it in the cinema though. I don't think I did. But I remember seeing it a long time ago, and I knew that he was in it, so I didn't have that experience of realizing it was him. But doesn't lessen the impact whatsoever. It's an interesting bit of trivia, 2 bits of trivia about it. I've got. He said in an interview that when he finished reading the script at his house, it was so terrifying that he locked up his house, turned on the security system, and poured himself a scotch. He then knew that he wanted to play Darcy because a character that horrifying would be an incredible challenge and make for a compelling movie. So you know, Saulnier and the script development and stuff. If you get a guy like Patrick Stewart to go against type like that, you're onto something compelling is a great word to describe this film, I think. And then just another tidbit, which is more of a director thing than Patrick Stewart, perhaps, but Patrick Stewart's first day on set was Saulnier's least favourite because he left, quote, this amazing actor sitting there while he spent time on insert shots and risked losing the light. And then, quote again, the next morning we had a very nice chat and I apologised for my inefficiency. So even Saulnier was just like obviously in awe of this guy, but the fact that, again, Patrick Stewart was willing to come on board with this and, you know, play this character that's nothing like Picard, nothing like Professor X or anything like that, just completely different. I think speaks volumes to how Saulnier must be behind the scenes in terms of developing his vision and all that kind of stuff. There's Rebel Ridge will come back to a similar kind of quote / situation that he just seems to realize what he wants to do and when he wants to do it. So yeah, just excellent and so sinister. But again, it'll come back to my favorite quote later on. There's two different sides to him. One is when he's in control and one when he's not so much in control. I think Patrick Stewart plays that brilliantly.
Yeah, I think your favourite quote might be the same as mine. Going by the hints there.
I don't know who you asked first. I'll see who copies
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go first. Okay, I was talking about the sort of wider cast. Was there anyone else that stood out for yourselves? I know we can talk about Macon Blair again, but was there anyone else that kind of jumped out, Todd?
It's like what Collie said, like top to bottom, this is a cast that are putting in performances, and I think like Imogen Poots as Amber, I think what she's seen, you know, and that sort of fear and knowing what's going to happen, she's part of this cult. I think you could describe it as a cult, like, you know, they're not allowed to leave and trying to get out. I thought she was fantastic, and even like those not action scenes, but those set pieces at the end with Anton Yelchin where they kind of trying to escape, and I thought she was really effective there with the 3 shots thing. That was really cool. I also loved seeing Mark Webber because
I knew you were going to talk about him, because if you didn't talk about him, you'd be like, "Come on, Todd, we know who you want to talk about."
But again, I didn't know who he was. Like, as in, I was like, he's really good, really solid. That change from being that absolute bastard to trying to be like, you know, he's the guy getting out. I was like, I know that face. I know him, and it's Steven.
You better recognise it before I got shot off. Like, so yeah. Good shout.
Yeah, it's Stephen Stills as a Nazi, which is frightening. But yeah, I thought Mark Webber was excellent as well.
Good stuff. Collie, anyone else?
I'll talk about him, even though he's my mortal enemy in this world. Callum Turner, I thought was really good in this. But he had, according to Jeremy Saulnier, this is in a quote, Callum Turner had no experience with any sort of music, not just like punk music, but just any sort of music, which I was like, that's fascinating, because he's now engaged to arguably the greatest pop star in the history of the world. So I was just like, I wonder what they talk about, you know what I mean? But anyway, we won't divulge.
Should we give a bit of context as to why he's your mortal enemy and who you're talking about?
I love Dua Lipa, so yeah. As a pop artist.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I thought like the whole band. Just to talk about the whole band, I thought they were really good. But Yelchin and Shawkat, is that Shawkat? They both knew how to play their instruments, whereas Joe Cole specifically learned to play drums for this film. And likewise, Callum Turner never really musically performed before, at least in a film, I don't think. So I thought they were all excellent, and just on a story choice and stuff to open up with. Nazi Punk's Fuck Off, I thought was excellent. I thought that was really good. Just a fun choice. Because then immediately you're like, oh well, this isn't going to go well. There was obviously bad vibes as soon as they arrive and all the conversations before it, but it's just kind of them going, you know, young guy, like they're probably just thinking, oh, what's the worst they're going to do? Like not pay us. And obviously it's a bit worse than that. But yeah, I thought the band were really good. Macon Blair, I thought again was excellent in the little that he had to do in this, but there's a few behind the scenes stuff that like he still had to audition for this film. It wasn't given to him by Saulnier, as much believe that or not. I do personally, because obviously he's not in every film that we're going to talk about. So like I think the fact that he had audition and that character again just like suits him. Of like he is bad, but he's like not bad. It's kind of. he's got that underlying doubt about what he's been asked to do, and I think like Macon Blair just has that kind of face and mannerisms to convey that kind of sympathetic character.
Mm-hmm.
Massey, what about you? Is anyone else that you want to talk about?
No, I think you've covered it. Again, the Nazi punks fuck off is genius. Like, it's such a great story point, and it's like it's the most punk thing that a punk band could do is by it's sticking it to the man. And at this point, the man is the Nazis that are paying them. Yeah, I think it's absolutely genius. And from the first time I watched it, I thought it was a genius thing. It's a great song as well. But yeah, I thought the band was fantastic. So yeah, no, there's not much else what to do with that. So filmmaking side, was there anything that stood out for you guys? I think Collie, you look like you're itching to say something.
There's two things for me. So you based this on Straw Dogs. Have you ever seen Straw Dogs with Dustin Hoffman? And then there was a remake maybe 15 years ago. So I think from what I remember from Straw Dogs, I've not seen it for a long time, but basically Dustin Hoffman's this American guy, and he meets and either gets married to or is going to get married to this English lassie from a small town, and then basically they're terrorized in their cottage by these local men and stuff. It's horrific. It's a really brutal film, but fantastic though. Like Hoffman is incredible in it. I can't remember the remake being any good, but the original excellent if you can catch that. But it kind of, you know, when Sonia is saying that he based or like was inspired by that film for this, it's that one location being trapped in a room, albeit I think it's a cottage in Straw Dogs, but in a room, and then the in and out kind of aspect of it I thought was really good. And this film, and to be fair, Blue Ruin as well, really reminded me of Zahler in terms of certainly, and I think again I was reading a couple of quotes about Sonia that, you know, you see the little ruckus at the door and stuff with the gun, and then it just pulls back and it just shows you Yelchin's arm and his hand's fucking hanging off and there's big gouges out of it. And then I think Sonia said he deliberately wanted to show that because he was like, as much as Yelchin's performance in that like sequence, he's like, shout out to the prosthetics team or the makeup department because it looks so convincing. And he was like, that's when I wanted people to know, like, this is the kind of film that you're in. Like, obviously before that you've seen the lassie being dragged about with a knife in her head, I think, and the blood spurting out of it. Like, that's gruesome enough, but he just shows you that, and then like there's the whole stabbing each other in the stomach. Like, he doesn't shirk away from the violence, which really reminded me of Zahler. And then just to cut to the end of the film, the last shot into Patrick Stewart's head, and there's just that little like spurt of blood. I was just like, that's S. Craig Zahler. To be fair though, if S. Craig Zahler was in charge of it, it would have cut to like a dummy's head fucking exploding, which would have been funny as well. But yeah, I just thought it was like no shirking away, no cutting away from the violence or anything like that. And I wish he'd done it in Murder Party for those hypodermic needles, but with this, I thought it was, you know, no holds barred, and I think that really. It's weird that this film feels very punk, even though it is, you know, obviously about punk music and stuff, and it's obviously a higher budget to his previous films, but it still feels very independent and a director, you know, wanting to be at the ground level of investing in everything and making sure everything's how he wants it to be. Yeah, just top to bottom, I thought excellent.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sorry, you want to add? Sorry.
I just think it was like, in terms of when I say tightly, you know, when we're talking about a tight 90 minutes, I'm talking about how tightly shot it is in terms of you've got these very small rooms and how well, you know, he's kind of got those shots of groups of people, large groups of people in these small rooms, and getting so much in. I just thought that was really well done, and sort of the tracking outside once Imogen Poots and Anton Yelchin get out. You know, it's not just a sort of we're isolated, we're in this small room. I think the opening bit. The other thing I love, sorry, just is the show that they do at the beginning in the little sort of diner thing. I thought that was, and there's the video now. Obviously, it happened. I'm sure it happened after the film was released. But you know, what the fuck is up, Denny's? I don't know if you've seen it when they're playing at Denny's. Like, and that's all I could think of, which made me giggle. But I just thought, like, to go from that, and where you're like, what is this film going to be? Where are we going to go? And to go from that to, like you say, seeing Anton Yelchin's arm getting, you know, filleted is wild. It was fantastic.
Ooh. Okay, let's go on to our favorite thing. So, Collie quote, go on.
No, so I've got an alternate quote, so you can go for this one, and I'll say my alternate, unless it's Todd's one. But go you, Todd, me.
Okay. So my favorite quote was, "It's funny you were so scary at night."
That was my quote. But okay.
I copied it. It's such a succinct way to kind of like to put a bullet point
Nice.
literally on the film and on Patrick Stewart's character from Anton Yelchin. Yeah, great.
I think it does a bullet point as well on what I was saying earlier with Yelchin's progression from being scared to, like not being scared, for lack of a better term. I think it shows growth from him, and it sums up, like you say, Patrick Stewart's intimidation throughout the night to being a little pussy in the daytime.
Little bald pussy.
There's no need for that. Zero need for that.
I can say that. Todd?
Nobody should say that.
No. Mine is we're not keeping you, you're just staying. I thought that was like a sort of that from Macon Blair. I thought that was such a good threat in terms of, you're here, this is it. That was fantastic.
Was that Colley's second quote actually as well?
No, okay. It wasn't. It's the end. It's just like when Yelchin's like, I know what it is. What is my desert island band? Tell somebody who gives a shit. I thought that was good.
I just cut after.
I thought that was class.
Brilliant.
Because then I think like in a Q&A that Saulnier's done, like it's Credence that starts playing in the titles, and he's like, that's pretty much what his choice was, but I'm telling you, show don't tell in the credits rather than him actually telling you. So there we go.
Is that
Mark Kermode?
Are you basically saying that Todd is Mark Kermode and Jeremy Saulnier? Yeah.
Yeah. Todd's everyone.
Yeah.
I am, and I'm everywhere.
Okay, favorite scene. For me personally, it was the build up to Pat getting his arm hacked. Like, obviously, the hacking is horrific.
Carry on.
I read your notes over your shoulder. It was the build up to it as well. I thought was just so well done. Like, intensity just creaks, and then all of a sudden it just spills out with his arm getting hacked up. I love that. Colley?
No, I'll let Todd go because I've got an alternate. It might be Todd.
Okay.
So
okay, Todd.
Mine is the arm scene, but it's also the arm slice and because we didn't really touch on Joe Cole as much, but the sort of where he's got him in the arm bar and he's on about what happens now, and he's like, well, he taps or I break it and we go for burgers. Like, it's still just real people. The hacking is obviously the worst bit, but him snapping that arm and it bending backwards is still fucking gross. Like, brilliant. But that whole thing, I couldn't sort of like pick a moment as such. I thought the whole thing was class.
I would just like to hark back to a Paul Craig quote. Obviously, he's just retired. Tap, nap, or snap.
Good.
Colley?
It was the scene when he was Anton Yelchin's holding the guys at gunpoint with Imogen Poots at the end. He's like holding it through like the passenger window to the driver window, or vice versa if you're American, I think. And then he walks around and he catches his like jacket or whatever on the wing mirror or something like that at one point. And they left that in or they made him do it again because I think Yelchin did that in a previous take. So they were like, it just shows like he's not, similar to Dwight in the last film, he's not supposed to be doing this stuff, but he's kind of found this kind of strength within him to do it. So I thought that was really, really good. And then obviously that bleeds into the killing of Patrick Stewart at the end. Okay.
MVP, Todd.
It's Anton Yelchin. It's not the one I would have gone for in terms of I think because it shocked me so much at like how strong he was, and I think that's just stuck with me the entire time. I know there's a more obvious choice, but I think he kind of like.
Look at me, I'm Todd. I go for the alternate choice.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Wait, didn't you just do that for the last quotes of the scene as well, Colley? Because you went for the alternate ones.
What? Yeah.
Never mind.
Anton Yelchin.
For me, I chose the obvious one. Patrick Stewart. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's not who I had as the obvious one. Interesting.
Did you have Imogen Poots? Nope. Colley?
Macon Blair. No. Patrick Stewart for me. It would be Patrick Stewart for me. What do you mean I went for the obvious ones? I had alternate ones because, like...
I know, I was joking.
Oh, okay. Watching you.
Okay, ratings. Can I just go first and apologize? I've done the same as I did for Blue Ruin. I'll give it 4 stars, but for me, it's like easier.
To be fair, you gave it the same as Sicario, so
Oh yeah,
for me,
fair.
that means it's an
Both
excellent
very
film.
good films. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so 4 stars for me from Green Room, but it'll be 4.5.
So it's not as good as Man Without a Face, though. Just to clarify.
No, definitely not, absolutely not. Man Without a Face is up here. Green Room's it's probably about there, I would say. Colin.
So I started on a 4 about a month ago when I first rewatched this for the pod. Watched it maybe last week, maybe about a week ago. Gave it 4.5, and then yesterday I was like, "Oh, who am I kidding? Like, it's a 5-star for me." So yeah, I'm just with my letterbox in general. I'm just like, when I'm giving stuff like 4.5 stars, most of the time I'm just like, "Fuck it, it's a 5." Like, who really cares, So yeah, it's a 5-star for me, and we'll stay that way forevermore.
Good stuff. And Todd.
5-star from me.
Excellent. Good. Now, next film. Todd, what's the next film we're going to be talking about?
Okay, so our next film is 2018's Hold the Dark. Russell, a wolf expert, is asked to hunt down the wolves responsible for the deaths of 3 children in the heart of Alaska. The deeper he digs, the further he is pulled into a mystery where wolves aren't the only animal he has to contend with.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll get to the Alpha Doom. I fucking hate this film. Absolutely despised it. From top to bottom. I think.
No offense, Jeremy, if you're watching.
No, yeah, sorry, Jeremy, Sky. I do apologize. I do actually love it. This is just purely for content. I fucking hated it.
That's enough.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I do not blame him whatsoever. I think you can absolutely tell that this is not a Jeremy Saulnier written film. It feels to me like he's doing a favour for a mate, which is obviously Macon Blair. Yeah, I just it's pretentious. There's no semblance of a story. There's themes in there. I know it's trying to do something stupid. It's terrible. There's one scene that I quite enjoyed. The rest of it was terrible. It got the performances from each person as well, likes of Jeffrey Wright and Skarsgård. Like it for me. I hated it. Collie.
I just thought it was really boring. I thought it was really, really boring. And shout out to, my least favorite film of last year in terms of it's going one way and then it goes another way with all the supernatural weird stuff. Like, I thought this was going to be like some sort of investigatory thing, a little bit of hunting, all that. It just went weird. It just went all supernatural and bizarre. Shout out Longlegs. I just thought it was too long. I thought it was boring. I'll argue that I think Jeffrey Wright is really, really good in this, though, and I'll watch him in anything, to be fair. I think he's just a very commanding presence. I love his voice. I love the way that he goes about stuff. But for the rest of it, just boring, way too long. See, if it had been maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes shorter, maybe I would have been enjoyed it a bit more cohesive. But it just seemed to drag. And yeah, I just didn't really like Skarsgård in it. Didn't really like Elvis's granddaughter in it. Just one of those films. I'll never ever watch it again. Few points I tried to look on the bright side of it with, but yeah, just not for me. And like you say, you can kind of tell that not only I think is it poor writing from Macon Blair, which really hurts me to say, but I think because it's like Netflix based and all that, how much studio involvement was there and prompting him to do stuff in that, and based on a book, so he doesn't really have that much freedom in that. So yeah, just a bit of a misstep for me for our Jeremy.
Just a bit of a misstep, yeah. Todd, you're on mute, by the way.
It was just boring. I
Copying me for.
I know. Again, I have no original. I haven't even watched the films. I just listened to what you say and then never watched.
I wish I'd never watched it. As much as I didn't hate it as much as Massey. But anyway, sorry, Jeremy.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't. I thought there were some elements to the mystery side of things and the supernatural side of things that I thought could have been relatively interesting. And I liked Skarsgård to an extent. There's another performance I really liked that I think we'll get on to. I just, like you say, take half an hour out. He's in there. Take half an hour out of it, and it becomes a little bit more watchable. But I think I've gone. My score is based rather than like the whole film. I'm like, oh well, I like this and I like that. Is it as bad as some things? No, but I don't think it's got worse. I'd like to point out, since I last watched it, I rewatched it for this, and my score's got worse since the last time I watched it. So
About half a star. Anyway,
spoilers, Jesus.
Yeah, but they don't know your original rating, so it's fine.
They might.
Yeah,
Follow
exactly.
follow my letterbox.
I was going to say something, but I can't remember what it was because I'm just so bored by it. Yeah, like it just annoyed me so much. Like there was one. We'll get on this, but there's one performance I didn't mind. But Colin, when you were saying about being investigative, like that sort of thing, I totally went into it thinking it was like Wind River or going to be like along the same thing as Wind River.
Totally. Great shout.
Yeah, like that same sort of set in the snow and like the kind of like the hunt, you know, the death and try to investigate that and stuff. And if you've not seen Wind River, by the way, phenomenal film. I really wanted it to be like that, but it just wasn't. It was just, yeah.
Instead of haunted dolls, it's fucking haunted masks, mate. You know?
Don't get me started. Okay, cast. So let me just run through the cast again. We kind of spoke about a couple of folk: Jeffrey Wright, Alexander Skarsgård, Riley Keough. There was one person that I felt sorry for more than anything, and it's a friend of the show that we spoke about before, James Badgedale.
What a legend.
I love that guy. He was the only character to me that felt real, that felt like a human being. This kind of grizzled cop that's seen some things and stuff. He was the only one that kept me in it. That was another thing I was going to say. Sorry for jumping back. You guys are saying about how taking out half an hour, 45 minutes, I would make it better. It's only 2 hours, but it feels like 4 hours. Like, yeah, sorry.
He's got a nice moustache though, James Badgedale.
He does. Before I go off on another rant, Collie, what are your thoughts on cast?
No, rant away, please. Makes a difference for it not being me.
Riley Keough was terrible. Absolutely bloody terrible. There's two things about it that's good in this film. There's two things good about it in this film.
No, why have you said that? Shocking.
I was gonna say her voice.
Nope. No, you weren't. You literally weren't. You literally weren't.
Everyone
apart from women, which I hate.
Apart from James Badgedale is talking in this hushed kind of like mysterious sort of
do an impression.
Ethereal, the wolves are taking our family. It's like
that was spot on, actually. If you close your eyes, you can just picture.
It's Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah,
he's in the room.
No, because that was Riley Keough, actually.
That was Riley Keough. Oh my god! I'm just not even listening.
Like it was so stupid. It was terrible. Like everyone just, like I say, was talking that hush thing. I say James Badgedale, he's the only shining light to this, or not even a shining light, but he was the only one that was better than dog shit. And he didn't just talk in this hushed, incoherent, boring nonsense. Yeah. I hated it. Collie, please.
To be honest, I've got not much to add. Can we just do the quote thing, please? Now, got nothing to add. I think I've got one bit of trivia about the film in general, so not about the cast, but upon its release, this film became a camp classic among many Alaskan viewers due to its numerous errors, including prominent use of famous Canadian landmarks thousands of miles away, its inclusion of non-native wildlife such as elk and bison, its bizarre references to Alaskan police as Mounties, and many other peculiarities. So it was just a nonsensical film whatsoever. Like there was something about like a bison, like they were reintroduced, but it was like 10 years after the film was set or something like that, and just a load of pish.
Please tell me you've got the quote from Macon Blair about the script.
Oh, you didn't know much about Alaska or something like that?
I knew very little about Alaska, and I thought error checkers could catch any mistakes I made.
Damn it, Macon! You had it so good up until this point. Shout out Lloyd and Oppenheimer, though. Respect, love you.
Yeah. Big up Dwight, but
damn it, Macon!
What are we doing?
Still my MVP though, but still. Yeah. Anyway, Todd, do you have anything to add about the film or the cast in general? Because like, So this episode's already longer than I expected, and I want to talk about Rebel Ridge. So
I really like James Badgedale, and I get
you like
what
his
he's.
moustache? Out of
I
10.
thought it was a fantastic moustache, and I think I get the hushed voice thing, but that's quite often
Oh, shut up,
Jeffrey
Todd.
Wright's thing. I get it. So that's why when he did the impression, when he said everybody does it, I didn't mind Jeffrey Wright because I thought he's like quite mysterious. Skarsgård for me is a great actor. I really like him.
Oh, we talked about him in the what's it called, Northman and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
But he was
have discussed
just
it.
he was just lost in this.
I didn't understand him. I didn't
Yeah.
understand the thing that he was at
No.
war and stuff like that. Not idea. And then I read in a review, it was like, "Oh, hold the dark. It's all about like we've all got darkness inside us and stuff." I'm like, "Fucking shove it up your arse." Honestly, what a load of shite. So you've done to me, Massey. I was holding it back.
You're holding the dark back, were you? Fuck.
Oh, shut up.
Right.
Maybe it all makes sense now. All makes sense.
Yeah. Can I be very positive for 1 second, please? I really quite enjoyed the shootout scene at the barn. That was the only standout for me.
For fuck's sake, are you going to ask us about our favourite scenes and then like let me talk about that scene? Or are you just going to randomly shout it out? For fuck's sake.
Right, so let's go into favourite scenes. It's Collie.
The shootout scene.
What one?
The one you're talking about. Fuck me.
That was my favourite scene as well.
Yeah, it was mine too. So there we go.
Oh,
Copy Collie! Stop copying
what was the
Collie!
quotes?
What was the quotes? Right, go. Collie.
I really struggled to find a quote for this. So I actually found one that I didn't like. I found one that I laughed at the most. So it was when Skarsgård comes back, blah, 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 loads of shite. And then it's like, can you raise the dead? And then the guy said, no, sir. And then he said, I have no questions for you. I was like, sound amazing. Thanks. What a load of shite.
Todd.
I've tried genuinely.
Whoa.
Whoa. No, when you say I
I genuinely tried.
What I mean is, I genuinely find to try. Like, I couldn't find one either. It was a struggle, and I wrote that down.
What you said fuck me for? You know what I mean? Shout out 50 Cent.
It was the natural order doesn't warrant revenge. They're not what you think, Mrs. Sloan.
Shut up.
I was just like, fuck off. But that one that about the no questions for you, that actually made me go like, fuck off, like laugh at it.
Funnily enough, Collie, my favourite quote, and this is what I wrote as well, fuck off. I didn't write a quote. MVP. Collie.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright for me. I mean, he'll probably be my MVP in a lot of stuff that he's in. I just like him. I just like the way he conducts himself as an actor. Love his voice, like I say. Very faded star in a very dark sky, pun intended.
So I put Jeff Wright as well, but not necessarily for his performance, but it's for not being turned on by the crazy naked lady. Todd?
James Badgedale.
Fair. Yeah, James Badgedale's moustache specifically for me,
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah, fair.
Oh, God, right.
Ratings, Collie.
1.5 stars for me.
Todd.
I went 2.5,
You're
but now
a
I
prick.
don't know where that
Mental.
extra stars come from. I don't. Is
Mental.
it?
I went 0.5 star.
Yeah, fair.
Dog shit. Absolute dog shit. And I think I wrote in the chat as well.
Sorry, Jeremy.
I think I wrote in the chat that I was watching it. I was genuinely angry that Todd chose Jeremy Saulnier because I had to sit through that fucking film. Next film, Todd.
All right, and our final film is 2024's Rebel Ridge. While on his way to bail out his cousin, Turi is pulled over by police and has the money taken from him. Turi must do everything he can to fight the system and bail out his cousin in the face of small-town corruption.
Terry.
What did I say, Turi?
Turi.
Did I go beat Yorkshire? Oh,
No, it's Geordie. Turi.
Oh, it's Geordie. All right, okay.
Terry.
Oh God! First thoughts, Todd.
I really, really enjoy this film. I think it's tight, and for a longer film because we're not at that sort of 90-minute mark. I thought it moved really well. The pace was really good. I thought the cast were brilliant. And the action. So what you've got is a legitimate action star. You know, Aaron Pierre's the kind of guy who could do those kinds of things in like the John Wicks or whatever, but it doesn't go down that road. It's not as sort of like sweeping camera moves and stuff. It's a lot more subtle. I really, really enjoyed it. It's not one I've watched a lot. I watched it on release because there was obviously a big Netflix push behind it. And then obviously watched it for research since, but it's one that I'll definitely watch again.
Cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I watched it on release as well. I think it's great. It's again, you can tell it's a Saulnier film. Like he's had a hand in every single step of the way. And yeah, I really love the emotions. I love the reasoning behind stuff as well. It feels real to an extent. Obviously, at some points it does go a bit off the rails, but it feels real for the most part. Characters are great fun. And yeah, it very much reminded me of like Welcome to the Jungle, you know, like the Rock film with the corrupt cops in like a small town and stuff. Like it's great. I really enjoyed it. Collie?
Yeah, again, similar to you, watched it on release, really enjoyed it then. For me, it's like a Jack Reacher film that's not a Jack Reacher film. It's actually one interesting bit of trivia, and I didn't really clock it until I read it, was it's the first film by Saulnier where there's no on-screen deaths or murders. Mm-hmm. I think it goes out its way to show that he is non-lethal. Because I watched New Rockstars actually did a breakdown of this, which I only realised last night. So I watched it just before I go to bed. And they were breaking down some of the scenes when like he's interacting with the cops. He's always like pointing their guns down at the floor, or he obviously disables them. You know, the end sequence, he removes all the slugs from the shotgun, which in turn saves his life because the guy gets the shotgun on him. So I think it's a really, really well crafted film. And like I say, Jack Reacher in terms of the, you know, one-man army kind of thing with the investigatory background, not an out-and-out John Wick style action. Adam Pierre, amazing. Like, I thought he was so good. He's cast as
John Stewart, Green Lantern.
John Stewart is the Green Lantern. I think I'm really excited for that. So good. And it's interesting. I don't know if you guys seen, but like there was a complete cast change of the main couple of characters.
Yeah.
John Boyega was supposed to be Adam Pierre's character. Erin Doherty were supposed to be Summer, the main female, and James Badge Dale was actually supposed to be David Denham's character. So because of COVID, there was a big turnaround of the cast, and I thought all the changes, not necessarily for the better, because I think the other cast would have been great, but I think they really, really, you know, rose to it. They were obviously like less prepared, quote unquote, less prepared. And I can't remember what film it was I was talking about earlier, but Saulnier had like a Zoom call with Pierre, and I think he said within like, I don't know, such a short time into that Zoom call, he was like, I found my leading man. So that kind of speaks to, he's a big, handsome guy, he's massive, but I think he's got that charisma and charm about him as well. Or the Riz, as Massey would want us to say, to garner a younger audience. But yeah, just absolutely. Top to bottom, excellent. And already speaking about it, I think I've rated this harshly, but you know, I out and out love this film. Love Jack Reacher. Should have just prefaced that before it, but love Jack Reacher books, films, TV series, and I think this is just like a non-Jack Reacher kind of film, you know what I mean? So yeah, I loved it.
The Jack Reacher thing is a really great point. Like, is it the first season of the?
It's like this. It's very similar.
It's basically this, isn't it? Yeah, because he's got like the like female kind of sidekicky kind of thing as well, and it's like a small.
Yeah, he has that in some of the films and a lot of the books as well.
Right.
It's like a lot of people could probably criticize the Jack Reacher books that they become kind of formulaic. Like he arrives in a situation, you know, finds a friend, whether a female or a male or whatever, then investigates it and solves it. It's kind of not paint by numbers, but it's kind of formulated like this. And this is kind of like that, but I think it does its own twist to make it original and not just like a rip-off. You know, it's more of a homage, I would say, or like an accompanying piece of art.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Todd, did we go through you? We went through you, didn't we? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Sorry, because you said a bit Terry and that. So the the cast, we kind of touched on them. Obviously, Adam Pierre, as you say, I would just obviously shout out again about being John Stewart in Lanterns. It's a fantastic casting. I'm really, really excited for that. I think he's going to be absolutely smash that. Anna Sophia Robb as Summer, David Denman, as you touched on as well, Collie, another DCU alumni in the latest season of Peacemaker. If you're
spoilers, I'm not watching it yet.
Okay, yeah, but he's there.
Spoilers.
It's okay. He's in the intro of the show, so and then of course friend of the show as well, Don Johnson,
Friend of
who
the show, shout
we
out.
spoke about for
Father
last
of
week's
Dakota, which I only realized last
Yeah.
night. So there we go.
Yeah, fuck her. Thoughts on the
Hell.
cast? Thoughts? What?
Don
Thoughts on
Johnson
the
might
cast
be
then?
watching this. Sorry, Don.
Sorry, Don.
Dakota,
Jeremy, if you're
this-
watching this, please tell John I'm sorry. Don, I'm sorry.
The views of that guy do not like they're not the views of the podcast.
Sorry, Don.
What are you
Sorry,
laughing
sir.
at?
Sorry.
What's he laughing at? I missed what you said, Massey.
It was the slip of please tell John. So
It's John Donson, isn't it? Is that not his name?
Massey said, "Please don't tell John." For fuck's sake.
John Donson. Don't tell John Donson. Oh god. Right, Collie, thoughts on the rest of the cast?
I thought they were class and similar. Like Don,
Who's Don?
was playing a very similar character to what he played in Brawl. What's it again? Was this
Brawl in Cell
Brawl in
Block.
Cell Block 99? Yeah, like a kind of. But he's not as evil in this, but you can kind of tell that he's obviously a baddie in it, but he's not as outwardly evil in that, but he's so manipulative, but he's so charismatic. I just think Don Johnson brings that to so many roles that he's in, Django and stuff like that. He's just got that kind of southern charm to him, even though like the majority of the time he seems to be a baddie in films nowadays. But yeah, just excellent. But shout out like the main two. I thought Aaron Pierre and Anna Sophia Robb were excellent as the kind of the duo. And I thought from a filmmaking perspective, kind of leaning on the cast a little bit, I feel there was just subtle stuff between David Denham and Lan. Is it Lan is his like partner? That's the other kind of mean cop.
Yeah,
Emily
the
Cohen
guy
that plays him.
The guy that reminds me of John Moxley. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the hair or what.
But yeah, but there's like, this is maybe more in filmmaking, so we'll come back to it. But I just thought their performances as like a duo as an officer, and then like they go in right from the beginning that they're both dickheads, but they kind of both go off on separate paths after that, and obviously that culminates in the outing as Marston as Cicero and stuff later on. But I think like acting choice wise, there's a very clear softening of David Denham as Marston throughout the film. I only think you really catch that on rewatches, but as an actor, he's good enough that he does it subtly, I think, throughout. So yeah, excellent top to bottom. I thought the whole cast was really good. Mm-hmm. Even the female officer, is it Sims, the one that's in the black lady that drives him away and stuff later on, and obviously she comes on because you like. If this was a paint by numbers, probably even like a Jack Reacher book, Sims would have been Cicero, because it's like you're just guessing before it happens. And the twist that it's not, I think, is really, really well done. So shout outs to Saulnier for that. But I thought she was excellent. I thought she was really, really good as well. And I can't remember if it was in the trivia for this or one of the other films, but Saulnier outwardly like hates films that just hold your hand through all loads of exposition. And I think this treads the line of perfect, like, doesn't hold your hand, doesn't tell you everything explicitly, but there's enough conversations that you can piece it together. Because the one with Sims and Terry in the car, when she's talking about how she's got the older car and all that kind of stuff, it's like, it's all this underlying like either racism or like just like these cops are better than other cops, and like there's like a system behind it all. I think it's really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. And as well, talking
Not
about
the system, by the way, but how it's conveyed in the film.
Yeah,
just to clarify, per Massey's green room comments.
The point you had about underlying stuff as well is like even just the way Aaron Pierre holds himself as Turi, like, you know, when he's like holding a gun, he's always holding it like with two hands and like cross pointing down, as you kind of touched on before, and things like when he's discussing about was it a pace, I think it was, and he's like kind of going through all the different steps. Yeah, and like that's just before he gets out as being like a trainee of like martial arts, whatever, for the Marines or whatever.
The best, so like, just interject on that. The best part of that is when she's googling it. It's him that's in the photo. In the Wikipedia article or whatever that she's reading, it says underneath it like drill instructor Terry Richmond or whatever. Like it's literally him on the Wikipedia page looking at what it means. And I didn't clock that until New Rockstars pointed it out last night in the breakdown. I thought that was really cool.
That's great.
She says it, doesn't she? She's like, And it's him on the wiki. I'm sure she says, and it's him on the
I
Wikipedia.
think she might,
I'm
actually,
sure she
yeah.
says it out loud.
I never clocked that. I thought
Yeah.
maybe she'd read his name or something. I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
clock
what
that
I
it was
thought.
him in the picture. Ah, brilliant.
That's what I thought. But yeah, it's just stuff like that where it's like the underlying kind of, you're given enough information to be like, this guy's badass. Like, this guy's like, you know what I mean? And it's not just like,
He's so like cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't get shouty at all. It's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, totally. I think the underlying side of it, the subtlety of it in such a, no, it's not really a bombastic film, but it kind of feels like it should be. But having the subtlety of that, I think is fantastic.
It easily could have devolved into a John Wick kind of film, but
Yeah.
it reins itself in really, really well.
Yep, absolutely. Todd?
Yeah, the RMPS stuff with how calm he is, and obviously it's like a lived experience of having to be careful around the police, and he's constantly respectful, even in those worst moments, like at the beginning when he's being knocked off his bike, and he's still, yes sir, thank you sir, sorry, like he has that about him, knowing fine well that he could absolutely rip them to bits and turn this into like that John Wick style sort of like, let's just go from the beginning. And I think when he's driving and he pulls the wall off the building and he like screams, it's just it's that one moment where he lets that real emotion, and I thought that was really well done.
It's like
as well.
catharsis for him, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think just on the John Boyega thing, I didn't know about that until you'd said. I just had a quick Google, and one of the things.
Research these films, Todd.
I've said I don't even watch them. The difference between Aaron Pierre and John Boyega, like I know it's obviously they're both fantastic actors, but Aaron Pierre's 6'3" and John Boyega's 5'9", and I think just having that stature
Nothing wrong with that.
of like no, nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with it at all. But what I'm saying is having that stature.
But just for comparison, Massey, obviously you've seen us the other weekend. That's like my height versus Percy's height. You know what I mean? That's the kind of difference between the two of them. So
just having that presence. Don Johnson is just like you say, you want to hate him. He's a prick, and yet you're still drawn to him. It's still like that southern charm works really well. And David Tennant, I thought he was fantastic. But I think you've touched on everything really well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything filmmaking wise then you want to touch about, or Colin?
not really for me. I think we've covered it a lot. Me anyway.
Todd?
Yeah, I just think just want to really touch on that point of like how it's all sort of hand to hand stuff and how that works better for the film. I can go and watch big action set pieces with guns, and I know there is guns in this, but like in terms of kills and all that kind of thing, and I just think it works so well with the character. This is a film that I'll rewatch, I think, and enjoy more on a rewatch as well.
Good stuff. On the back of that, I'm really looking forward to watching that New Rockstars breakdown. I didn't know they did one, so
I'll link it into our chat.
Yeah, definitely.
When we're done.
And again, if you've not watched New Rockstars, they do have fantastic videos on Marvel, Star Wars, everything. So yeah,
fair heavy spoilers personally, but yeah,
heavy spoilers, Screen Crush, all those guys. Okay, let's go on to scenes then. Favorite scenes. Colin, I'll let you go first because you've been kind of done dirty by us.
Scene for me is the first kind of clashing between him and Don Johnson in front of the station and stuff, and just the interaction with him while he's talking, but then the cutting back to the guys in the station looking it up, what all the acronyms stand for and stuff. I thought that was just really, really interesting and well paced. So that would be my favorite.
Well paced, I like it. I thought you were going to steal my one as well, but no, mine was the opening scene. I think it set everything up absolutely perfectly, where it kind of obviously sets up his character, but then also sets up the fact that cops are basically corrupt, or is it racism? Is it just plain old corruption? Is it both? I thought that was great, but also it kind of gave Aaron Pierre's character a bit of an edge to him. There was a bit of past him stuff as well. So I thought that set things up absolutely perfectly.
Shout out Iron Maiden as well at start.
Yes, absolutely. Todd?
Yeah, mine was the McMap scene, in terms of like in front of it and in front of the police station and going in and out and getting the internet back up. I thought was a nice little touch that like he Don Johnson didn't know what he was walking into. I thought that was really cool. But I thought the gun scene, in terms of when he chucks the gun in the truck and shouts "gun," and I thought that was really, really well done in terms of, again, is it racism? Is it just corruption? Showing what they're doing. I thought that was really well sort of put together. Yeah, but the McMap scene.
I thought one badass scene was when he took the taser in the courtroom as well. How he just was on his knees and just took it and he fucking ripped out his hands and stuff. And then when he gets his revenge, like, he does it back to the guy, and the guy just instantly is like falling over because of it. Yeah.
I
He
think
gets him a couple of times as well, doesn't he? Like, he hits him, then picks it back up and goes again.
I think if I took a taser, I could just do that as well. It's like, take it out. and
Nope,
just
not
walk away.
whatsoever. You'd piss your pants.
Yeah, that would be before taking the taser.
Have you seen all the videos of like the people doing that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
taking the taser. It's so stupid.
I know. We should do that for like our 100th episode or something.
Sure.
Sure.
Why not?
Might do it to myself when we do our Christmas episode. Just tase myself in the head.
Oh god. Okay, favorite quotes. I'll go first this one actually, if you don't mind. It's when he's on the walkie-talkie to the guys, and it's so I think it's Don Johnson that's on the other side. It says first light. Turry says, "How about now?" Don says, "Nah, I got to no." Sorry, other way around. Sorry. Turry says, first light. Don says, how about now? And then Turry says, nah, got to see what's in front of me. Works well for you too. Don says, oh yeah? And Turry says, yeah, you just might see me coming. And then when he passes the walkie back, he goes to the guy, I put too much sauce on that. Like, I thought that was a great interchange there.
That was good.
Collie?
So my one was when Summer and Terry are talking and she asks, did you hurt someone? And he says, barely broke the skin. And then he's asking about, think you got out and think they'll send me where he's at and stuff, when he's obviously trying to get with it. Is his cousin? Yes, that he's trying to bail out, is it? Yeah, so I thought that was just when he said barely broke the skin, which technically he did when he broke the guy's arm?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just like, well, I guess, technically. But yeah, I thought that was quite just badass of him.
And Todd? What about Turry?
I thought Collie was going to nick mine. So mine's immediately after that. Mine is, was that your plan? And he says, I ran out of plan. I just thought that
I had the whole quote written, but I was like, I'll just do the first couple of lines. So there we go. Worked out perfectly.
But I did have a backup, and it is Don Johnson, where he says, you could offer me eternal life or a catfish sandwich. I love his delivery. You could offer me eternal life. I thought that was fantastic.
Oh,
yeah,
John
big John
Dodson.
Classic Don. Or John, rather.
MVPs, Collie?
Adam Pierre for me by far.
Yeah, same. Adam Pierre. And Todd? Turry?
Yes. Yeah, our Terry.
Yeah, good
I thought
stuff.
David Denham was really good though, because I was like, when I originally seen him, I was like, oh, it's just the guy from The Office, but I thought he did really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he beat up. Oh no, he was going to beat up Jim, wasn't he? But he didn't. He got tased actually by Dwight.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Mace.
Mace, sorry, apologies. We can do tase and Mace.
Nunchucked or ninja starred.
Yeah. Right, scores for Rebel Ridge. Collie.
A really harsh 4, I feel. Similar to Blue Ruin, I'd probably have these on a 4.5, potentially a 5 long term.
I'm exactly the same as you. I give it a 4, and I'm kind of like, why?
Same as Sicario, though, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, good point, but it's not Man Without a Face.
Sorry, again, Man Without a Face or...
Man Without a Face. Man Without a Face, Green Room, Rebel Ridge.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Todd.
Where's Blue Ruin and all that?
Somewhere here.
Okay.
Todd?
4.5, but I think it could... just talking about it, it's where do you take that half a star away? Like...
Yeah, great point.
John Donson, maybe. I don't know. Right. Our rankings. Collie, I'll let you go first. Oh no, actually, no. That's a Todd go first. It was his episode. Go on, Todd.
Okay, so from bottom to top, Murder Party, Hold the Dark, Rebel Ridge, Blue Ruin, and then Green Room.
You're mental. You're absolutely mental. From bottom to top, for me, obviously, Hold the Dark. Then Murder Party. Then I have I wrote it down. Where is it? Hold the Dark, Murder Party, then Rebel Ridge, Blue Ruin, Green Room. Collie?
Yes, I had similar to you, but just one switch. So it was Hold the Dark, Murder Party, Blue Ruin, Rebel Ridge, and then Green Room for me. So just Rebel Ridge and Blue Ruin swapped.
Yeah, swap around. Good stuff. Well, that is Jeremy Saulnier done. And whose choice is it next? It's mine.
Thanks, Jeremy, if you're watching.
Oh, yes, Jeremy and Sky. Thank you so much for liking the tweet.
Yes, and Sky also, sorry.
We do love
and
you
Don
guys.
Johnson, and Dakota Johnson,
and
if you're watching.
John Donson, if he's watching
Actually,
as well.
regardless of who you are, thank you for listening and watching. Okay, there we go.
We appreciate it.
But
even more so if you're a celebrity.
That's how you do it. So our next episode is going to be on Chloe Zhao. That was my choice. I'm really excited for this one. So we're going to go through Songs My Brothers Taught Me, The Rider, Nomadland, and then Eternals as well. And of course, she has Hamnet coming out at the start of next year as well.
Which I'm booked in to see.
Oh, and it's getting a lot of Oscar buzz. So
I think I'm getting to see it like 3 months before it actually gets released, which is really exciting.
Wow. So that'll be interesting.
It's a sold out screening, so I'm excited for that.
That'll be interesting to hear your thoughts. But yes, Chloe Zhao will be on our next one.
I think I might be seeing it after we record, just FYI, so I might not be able to get thoughts, but still.
I think we could do
save it for the Oscars episode, guys.
Well, yeah, exactly.
If we survive our Christmas episode, which is very touch and go at the moment.
I don't think anyone knows what it is yet, so we're kind of pumping the brakes.
Might be the last ever episode. So Massey's dream of 100 episodes is not going to last because it'll reach 28. Never anymore.
We'll see. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you're on YouTube, remember to like, comment as well. We love the comments that we get on YouTube, don't we, guys?
Nope.
And if you're listening on Spotify, please follow. And again, just let us know on Twitter at LCD_pod what your thoughts are on us, what your thoughts are on the films that we talk about. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.